Hello everyone, this is BioPhoenix here, and today we're going to be doing another memory video because I have not done one in a while, and I know this was planned to appear earlier, but it's okay, we're doing it now. So either way, today's video is going to be about the Sega Genesis, and my memories with it. Now the Sega Genesis is not only a really good console, but it was a console that I actually never grew up owning because, well, I had like a Super Nintendo and a PlayStation for the most part, and believe it or not, I also never played one until like years later, because believe it or not, I actually didn't really know many people that had a Genesis, which is kind of weird to think about. Most people I knew either had like a PlayStation system or a Nintendo system. I think I met like one person that had like a Dreamcast, but that was it. So really, like most of my memories were either played with some weird thing that I'll explain in the video later on, or I eventually did get a Genesis, finding it at a yard sale for about like $10 many years later, but unfortunately, I don't know what happened to that one. It was a slim model, and yeah, like I said, I have no idea what happened to it. Until then, a couple years after that, I did finally get another Genesis at a thrift store for like $15, which is really good. It actually came with the box too, but unfortunately I don't know what happened to the box, but oh well, shit happens. But either way though, well, so let's get started. So here is my Model 1 Genesis. I always found that the Model 1 Genesis looks a lot cooler. It even has a volume control for your headset. And I've never actually used this thing before, so I have no idea how it works. And the controller ports look exactly like the Atari and the ColecoVisions, but it's a pretty sharp looking system. Now as for the controller, they're very basic, but they do work very well. Although they do have a 6-button layout controller, but I do not have any of those, so I only have the 3-layered one. But I gotta say, I really do love this D-pad. I always find them to be pretty comfy. Now as for the games in their boxes, yes, I really do like the way how Sega Genesis had their boxes set. I find them to be very durable, and it's kind of like a fat version of a DVD case. And as for the Super Nintendo, just to make a comparison, all of my Super Nintendo boxes are invisible because I don't have any, because the boxes never really last that long, and I hardly ever see them anywhere at all. So the Genesis definitely did that a lot better. So now let's go to the most important part and talk about the gaming memories. Now I'm sure this is an obvious one, but the Sonic the Hedgehog games will be the first I'll mention. I remember Sonic the Hedgehog was something I used to see on like TV a lot, but I was always curious of trying it out. Until one day I did end up meeting someone that did happen to own a Genesis, and they did have Sonic the Hedgehog on there. So I played it for the first time, and wow, it was really awesome. Even if this game was a couple of years old at the time, it was definitely still impressive. Then again, I never played anything like this before with that much speed. Even though I was pretty terrible at the game, actually I'm still not all that good at it, I still have a lot of fun playing it. Now, I didn't get a chance to play any of the sequels until 2004 when I finally got a copy of Sonic Mega Collection on the GameCube. And ever since then, that was when I started experimenting with the series and trying out all the different Sonic games, and well, that's when I pretty much became a fan of it. And now we're going to talk about Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Now I don't actually own a cartridge of this game for the Genesis, but I have played it many times. And I know this is technically a Sonic game, but you know what, I'm going to put it in its own category. Now it is interesting to note that the first time I ever played this game was not on a Genesis, but it was on a computer. And no, it was not actually emulators, but there was a program on the computer that you can get, kind of like Steam, but it was called Real Arcade or something like that. And at one point in time, they actually had Sega games, and one of them happened to be this one. And believe it or not, it was the first puzzle game I ever played where you actually battled against other people, and I thought it was a really cool concept, although the game is pretty fucking hard. But eventually, I did actually beat the game, which is pretty surprising because yes, this game is really tough and I was able to beat it, but man, it was definitely well worth it. And now we're going to talk about Vectorman, and yes, this has a very shiny box with it. And this was a really cool running gun kind of game. In fact, I did happen to do a review of it though, but the review wasn't all that good because it was a really old episode, but anyways. Yeah, this is another one of those games that I played on that Real Arcade software, and as again, it's a really tough game, but it was damn satisfying. And when I was younger, I never understood like why he was like made out of like bubbles or whatever. Like as a kid, I used to call it like Bubble Man the game. Yeah, I used to give it a lot of stupid names back then when I was a kid. I'm sure we've all done something like that before. So yeah, Vectorman is definitely a good game that I remember. Next up, we're going to talk about Phantasy Star 2. Man, this is such a great RPG, even if the dungeons are really tough to get through. But I really love the story to this game. and same with the characters as well. And this is as again another game that I played within Real Arcade. Yeah, I never thought they would ever put on an RPG on there. But either way, I really remember this game mostly for the graphics and music. And I have played some RPGs before playing this game, but it was still pretty cool just to see how an RPG would play on a Genesis system, even though I was playing it on a computer, but you know what I mean. And I have to admit, Nea is actually pretty hot. Although it is pretty weird that her claws are called bars in this game for some reason. I always found that to be really strange, even as a kid. And I may not own this game in my collection yet, but I do have it on my Wii for now. And now we're going to talk about Golden Axe. This is another game that I played at the same friend's house who had Sonic the Hedgehog. And I know at the beginning of the video I said I hardly knew anyone that had a Sega Genesis, but I did eventually meet one. I just thought I'd clear that up by now. So yeah, Golden Axe, it's a pretty awesome game. In fact, me and my friend actually beat this game together, and I had to say, it was pretty epic. And of course it took many tries to do it, especially the last boss, Death Adder. He was a real bitch at the time, although when I played the game not too long ago, it actually isn't as hard as I remember it being. I have no idea what happened with that there, but either way. It's a very memorable game. And the next game we're going to take a look at is Sword of Vermilion. Now it's going to be pretty crazy to mention, but the first time I played this ever was on the Wii's Virtual Console in 2007, I think. Or it was 2008, I forget exactly. But man, this was a really cool game. Now it may not be as good as Phantasy Star, but it definitely is a memorable game to me as well. And as again, the music and graphics in this game were really good. And I mainly got it on the Wii's Virtual Console because I really wanted to play more Genesis games that I never played before, and when I saw Swords of Vermilion, I thought, that looks pretty cool. So after I downloaded it and played it, yeah, it's definitely a great game, and hopefully I can find a copy of it sometime soon. And the next one I'm going to talk about is Bonanza Bros. Well, more like Banana Bros, but really. It's a very interesting game. And the first time I played this game was also at the same friend who had Golden Axe and Sonic the Hedgehog. So yeah, Bonanza Bros is a really cool game, but it definitely takes some time to get used to. And because they are yellow, they do kind of look like bananas, so I mean, for all we know, they could just be bananas in pajamas with sunglasses. And guns. Yeah, it's pretty weird to overanalyze this game, but it's definitely a very unique game. And now we're going to take a look at Echo the Dolphin, and yes, I actually do own a copy of this game. But I did have this game as a loose cart before, when I had my old Genesis that I found at a yard sale. But as again, I don't know what happened to it, but I did manage to get this game again. And this game I always found to be really weird. Well, actually, I still find it to be really weird. Not only because you're just using a dolphin, and while having a game based off of a dolphin is just kind of a weird thing to begin with, but there's even aliens involved and such, which I always found to be very strange. Yeah, everything in this game is just strange. And the one thing I'll always remember is that the music in this game can really make this game kinda creepy in a way. Especially when you're just swimming around in open water and then out of nowhere something just comes out and just murders your ass. And it's also a very tough game, and tough to figure out where you're supposed to go. Yeah, I can never get far through this game, but I always remember it pretty well because, well, it's just so weird and wacky. Then again, what other game is out there that you play as a fucking dolphin? And right here, we're gonna talk about X-Men. Yeah, I don't know what other title you want me to call it, but yeah, just X-Men on the Sega Genesis. This was another game I had with my old Genesis that I have no idea what happened to, but I will try and get it again someday. But anyways, this was a really cool game, and a lot of the characters were really fun to use. And some of the character abilities were really cool too, like the ones that would fly across the screen and just blow everything up. And of course, this game is also pretty damn difficult. Even when I use the stage select code, I can still never beat it, but I can at least play through most of the other levels I couldn't get through normally though. And also that thing with the TV where you had to reset your Genesis, yeah, when I first got there, that also fucked me up too. Then again, I think that fucked up a lot of people that played through this game. So yes, X-Men is definitely a good Genesis game. Hopefully I can find it soon. And for the last game we're going to mention is Streets of Rage 2. This was the last game that I also had with my old Genesis that I have no idea what happened to, and it really pains me because this is one of my favorite beat-em-ups of all time. And it was one of the first games I beat within one sitting, and I have to say I was really damn proud of myself for that because I didn't think I'd be able to do it. And it's not like I tried to beat it in one sitting, it just happened. But man, this game is awesome whether you're playing a single player or a co-op. And I find sometimes it can be easier alone because there are going to be times where you and your friend are going to accidentally hit each other. But I guess that makes it more funny, right? But either way, I can go on and on about praising this game and saying how it's like one of my favorite beat-em-ups of all time, even though I've already said that already. But seriously though, I can't stress out enough that this is definitely a must-own for the Genesis, and yet I don't even own it right now. Sad face. So that's the basic of my Sega Genesis memories, and Yeah, I know I may not own a lot of the games right now, but I mean, hey, it's a work in progress, and not only that, but I mean, at least I actually played some games for it, and I can say that, yeah, it's definitely a good system. Really wish I could have played it earlier on, but no, well, it happens. But hey, like I said, like I always say, it's better late than never. And now as for the next feature, we're going to be taking a look at the PS2. Oh yeah, that one should be good, eh? So anyways, until then, see you guys later.